Our children are spending more and more time on social media. All of those images, what effect are they having on our kids? And what about their body image? To help us negotiate this tricky terrain is child psychiatrist Dr. Monique Jericho. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being here and for one of your regular visits. So maybe we should start the conversation by sort of define what we're talking about in terms of this body image that seems to be affected by these images.
Right. So body image is really not about what a person objectively looks like. Body image has to do with how we feel about our own bodies. So it's our own subjective experience of our body, what we think we look like, how we feel about our body, and how that influences and affects us.
That's so interesting. I don't think I really understood that. Okay, so what does that mean then when you have all these young people looking at all of these images over and over again?
Well, I think it's important to understand that people can develop a positive body image, right?
Right.
Where they have a realistic sense of what they look like, and they can feel fairly confident going through life and not worrying all the time about their appearance.
Right.
People with a negative body image will have constant concerns about appearance, will be preoccupied with it, and will oftentimes have a very distorted sense of what they actually look like. Right? And this is what we're worried about when we start talking about the influence of media or social media.
Interesting. Is there an age group that is particularly vulnerable here, or is this sort of normal behavior for young people?
Well, I think the age group that most of us worry about the most are the kind of early to mid-teens. And that's because developmentally it's very normal for them to start thinking more about their appearance, to start comparing with their peers. They're trying to figure out who they are in this world, right? And so comparing and looking around you is actually a pretty normal thing.
Okay, so that's not the bad part. That's not the issue that we may have with social media. It's what happens after that.
So the thing with social media, unlike, traditional media that, of course, we've thought about and we're concerned about too in terms of how it influences body image.
Sure, like the magazines and things like that. We've always been concerned about that.
Exactly. The thing with social media is that it heightens those risks and opportunities to compare and judge because, of course, social media allows you to post content, allows you to put up pictures, make comments on those pictures, and so it's really something that you can engage in with a lot of depth, right?
Right.
And so for people who have concerns about their body image, this is an opportunity for them to put up pictures, get feedback, provide feedback. And so it really heightens that experience of comparison.
And you would think, too, just the proximity of it, right? So these people are on their phones all of the time. Whereas they're not walking around with a magazine all of the time or watching a television show and the commercials all of the time.
That's true.
But they really are attached to that phone all the time.
There's a lot of opportunity. Yeah,
there sure
absolutely.
Is. So how does this relate then to someone's self-esteem?
So people with negative body image, as I said, they're preoccupied with their appearance. They don't feel good about their appearance. They feel that other people are attractive and maybe they're never the attractive one, right? And so the risk there over time is that it can be really erosive for a person's self-esteem. So lifelong, it can be a lifelong battle with self-esteem. And then more concerningly would be the development of serious mental health conditions like depression or eating disorders.
Right, okay, so that's a big red flag.
That's
what can parents do then to help their kids negotiate this area?
Well, there's a lot of things parents can do, right? So finding those teachable moments, right?
Yes.
And the things that we can start talking to our kids about fairly early are things related to media literacy and social media literacy, right? I think we're all familiar with, talking to our kids about how in a magazine someone might be airbrushed. But we're not always there talking to our kids about, the images that get posted, say, on Facebook or, on Snapchat.
Or Instagram.
Instagram, right? A lot of them have been changed and altered.
All those filters.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what you're seeing is not necessarily a representation of what is real or realistic. And kids need to know that, right? It's just a basic kind of social media literacy that we can teach our kids from a very early age, actually.
And very quickly, what else can they learn?
Well, you're the role model, right? So if you're walking around preoccupied with your appearance and you're role modeling negative body image, they are going to pick up on that probably more so than they would pick up on anything they're going to see in social media. So watch what you're role modeling.
Be aware of your own self.
Always.
Dr. Jericho, thank you so much for your time. Wonderful information as usual. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, Andy, let's get a check on that forecast.